Hello, friends. I hope you are having a wonderful week so far. Today, I am going to be doing a series of shaperless wraps. So, summer is coming, and if you live somewhere like I do that gets very warm and sometimes humid during the summer, it's not sometimes humid in DC during the summer, it's humid all the time in DC during the summer. Then you may perhaps be looking for some wraps that are going to get you through these next few months. So that is what I'm going to be showing you today. And some of these wraps are, I think actually all of them also work really, really well as half wraps. If you are a person who does half wraps, I've been wearing them as half wraps around the house lately. And so, yeah, I wanted to share that with you. So, I'm going to grab first a lightweight, well, all of the scarves that I'm going to be working with today are lightweight because that's what everybody wants to wear during the summer. And they're also, in my opinion, the easiest to work with for half wraps because you're just not managing as much volume. So let me grab my first scarf and we will begin. So I am going to be starting with a New York Brights scarf. This was like white with black, I think. I don't think that this particular scarf is in stock anymore. There is something very similar, I think a gray and black, that's in stock. So I am going to begin by putting this on my head nice and evenly. Underneath, I am wearing a narrow no-slip headband. I have a couple of these now and I absolutely adore them. So I'm going to put it on my head nice and evenly and I'm going to tie it in the back. If you are doing a half wrap, I actually recommend skipping that tie in the back most of the time, just because it gives a little bit more coverage when you're bringing everything down to just like a small knot. Sometimes your band, the headband, will start to show. But yeah, so the first thing that I'm going to do is bring this side up and over. This is basically like regal wrap, sort of. Regal wrap with a little bit extra. And I actually managed to have this a little bit off center. You can kind of see the difference in the length of my tails. I didn't intend to do that, but it will work out nicely for this particular wrap. So I'm going to fold this down a little bit more narrowly. Bring that up and over. I also, for these styles, the second one, I'll be really trying to be careful when I go over that ear so that I am not uncomfortable. And then way down here, I'm going to tie it beginner's luck style. Just like that. And then this is going to get twisted. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a twist. I love doing twists with these, like the stripier scarves, like the New York Brights. You really get to see all of that detail. And then this is going to come up and over. So it's going to keep you from having kind of like any like awkward bumps. I have a lot about this in my video on managing scarves when you're doing no shaper looks. And then depending on what you've got going on here. So I have, because I'm doing a full wrap, I can just tuck it in at my neck. If you're doing a half wrap, so I do find that scarves will wrap a little bit shorter sometimes when I'm doing a half wrap. You can just take this tail here and tuck it, where's the front of you? And just tuck it right underneath like that to keep it in place. And it can look a little funky as a full wrap if you have like tails on both sides, but they're a little bit uneven. I don't mind it so much if there's a half wrap, because then you have more hair hanging down. And so it all just kind of fits in well together. Or if you have the room, then you can take this guy, and you might, as you start getting towards the end, want to take sort of the longer portion here and make sure that you're really wrapping that around to cover all of these little fringes. so that all you have is like little fringes at the very end. And that can even go all the way around here, pass through just like that, and voila. So here is this regal twist look from the front, from the side, from the back, and the other side. And I've just pinned my hair in a low bun at the nape of my neck, as flat as I can make it. So that is wrap number 1 that I do. I've got 3 scarves, and I'm not sure how many looks. Hopefully I actually remember to do them all. I didn't write them down. If you saw my last video, you will know that I am shooting this video while I am on vacation. So it's just kind of going to be what it's going to be. Okay, I am going to try and center this up a little bit better for look number 2. Okay, so we're going to start same way, scarf on the head, tie it at the nape of the neck, unless I am doing a half wrap, in which case I would recommend not doing that. And then we are going to bring it up both sides. So I'm trying to prep both sides, folding in my edges, just like that. Up we go. And I know that I have shown this before as a faux turban wrap, but that's what we're doing. We're going to bring it up, cross it over once, twice, and bring it down. And then again, depending on how much tail you have to work with, so you can just tie it again at the nape of the neck. And I like, if I'm doing this, I'll take this scarf and kind of spread it out so that it's nice and even in the back there. So here it is, little faux turban look from the front, from the side, from the back, and the other side. And if you want to, you can one side at a time, but don't put too much pressure, because right now there's nothing that's holding this centered on the head. So be gentle when moving this around. And I'm going to do what I talked about before, where I'm going to really try and gather up all those fringes. This is really going all the way over. And then this side too, and you can use this to conceal any fringes that might be hanging out up here. And then same thing, tuck it in over on this side. And that will also have the bonus of not leaving anything hanging down on your neck, which during the summer can definitely be a little bit less pleasant. So next one that I am going to show, so just realized I forgot to put my rings on. Oh well, y'all know I'm married, it's fine. That's why I cover my hair in the first place. We're not gonna worry about it. So the next one that I'm going to use is going to be, this is an original 2-in-1. Again, I don't think this particular color is in stock. I'm usually a lot more conscientious about only wrapping with scarves and colors that are still in stock when I do these videos, but this is what I took on vacation, so you're gonna get what you're gonna get. It's fine. This is original 2-in-1 in, I think it was, they called this color Seafoam, but it's just this really pretty aqua sort of color. Right, and once again, it's going to go on nice and evenly. If you try wrapping with these scarves on evenly and you find that one side is, that your edges are too short to tuck in, I know this has been for years a hint that's been given for regal wraps, you can always try putting it off center, and then you want to wrap your long end up first, and then wherever your shorter end ends, it's much easier to tuck in. Okay, so this one, we're going to do a little bit of a twist knot at the top, So folding in my edges, making sure everything is nice and smooth. That was the opposite of what I wanted. And then once I get to the center of my head, I am just going to tie it in a single knot, just like that. And then bring these ends down. And similar to the last wrap that I showed, you could tuck them under if you're doing a full wrap, and if you're doing a half wrap, you can just bring them over either both to one side or one to one side and one to the other, and just smooth that out. So this, depending on how far forward or how far backward, you could take this and wrap it back. And so that gives like this really nice like rolling twist kind of look that I think is super pretty. And then same thing, finding my little gap here and pulling through. And there we go, just a little twisted wrap. And here it is from the front, from the side, from the back, and the other side. And this is one of my favorites to do as a half wrap. This has been one of the most common styles that I've been wearing like around the house with the back of my hair down. And it keeps my hair out of my face, which I've never liked having my hair in my face. I think it's one of the reasons that wrapping was so appealing to me. I don't like having my hair on my neck. I don't like having my hair in my face. So it's just kind of a bonus for me to just put it all back, put it all away. And then I have two more styles, and I am going to reach for something a little bit more voluminous. So both of these scarves I purchased myself, but Rapunzel recently sent me a shipment, and one of the scarves in there is this. It's a black Flaxen Feelings. This was one of their staple scarves that I did not otherwise have, and it's such a lovely texture. I'm going to try and show you like close up. Well, you can see like the sunlight behind it, but also like this nubby texture. It is so soft to feel it, but it's like grippy, and just, I really wish that I had gotten one of these sooner. I love it. And like it gives volume. It's very, if you like pedal softs, try one of these out, because it's a very similar, like where it's very lightweight, but also really easy to build volume. And so for these two final styles that I'm showing, I'm trying to like fold it without having to like put my head down so that my hair is showing. Once again, on vacation, I did not bring everything with me that I would like to have bring. I would have preferred for this video to do a regular size no slip headband, but I didn't bring one with me. So this is what we've got. All right, put that on my head, nice and even. Tie it at the nape of the neck, or don't, depending. Okay. And now I am going to do a knot at the top of the head. So one side up, folding in those raw edges, and then same thing here. Make sure I've got that nice and spread out over the sides, and I'm going to tie it in a knot in whatever direction. Whatever direction you start with is not important. What is important is the part that comes next. So there's two ways to tie a knot I often talk about. So one of them is a square knot, where when you're tying your second pass, whatever scarf is in front is going to stay in front, and you end up with this. That's not what I want here. I am going to tie what I grew up calling a granny knot, because I want it to have a little bit more unevenness, and like it's a little bit more symmetrical, because there's not like one side that's up and one side that's down. just like that. And then I'm going to take this here in the front and really fluff that out. This is going to be definitely a more voluminous top knot. You can kind of shift it around until you get as much volume as you want. There we go. Loosen it up a little bit. There we go. That's like a good looking poof. Okay, and then these are just gonna come down on either side. I think I'm gonna do this side because it's skewing a little bit this direction, so I worry if I bring this tail down first, I'm gonna just slide everything more in that direction. So we're gonna try and fix that by securing down this side first. And this one's come out a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna have to be careful about how I smooth this scarf out. That feels good. And then same thing that I've been saying, you can tuck it in at the nape of the neck. If you are doing a full wrap, if you're doing a half wrap, you can continue it around and then tuck it in. You would tuck it in like under here. And I'm really gonna try and like floof this up. The more floof, the better for this look. Really focusing on this portion right here. That feels good. That looks good. Feels good to me. Which also, like, you could just like leave this hanging out the back, which is very cute. But if we're doing half wrap, I feel like that looks a little bit odd. So bring it down, and then same thing, really trying to keep all of like the longer bits covering the shorter bits. Around, and then tuck in. Just like that. Give it one final floof, and here it is from the front, from the side, from the back, and the side. I do prefer with this, if I'm doing it as a half wrap, I like it better with something like a New York Brights or Crossroads, Higher Ground, like any of those that have like the stripiness to them. This guy is like maybe just like a hair on the larger side. But then the other final one, and again, this is also going to be a higher volume look, is I think this is what like a lot of people call like the swoop and floop or something. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of flip it over and just kind of roll the swoop and floop or something, and create this like fluffy sort of look, and then bring these down, and you can either tie it to tuck in, or you can just tuck it under, and then do the same thing with this. So the key with this is really like be gentle in your manipulation of the scarf. You want that like free form, you want a little bit of the chaos. I just look at like, I don't know, letting this scarf just kind of wrinkle as it does, I think is just so pretty. And then I am tucking that at the nape of my neck, and then I'm going to use this end to sort of cover up any of those fringy bits that are doing something I am a little bit less pleased with. And again, you can tuck it at the neck, tuck it in behind, either way works. And then if you want to just play with this a little bit more, this looks so sweet with hair flowing down. You just have like the volume, and then I don't know, I really like it. So yeah, this is the final look, and here it is from the front, from the side, from the back, excuse me, and the other side. So those are all of the looks that I am showing today. These are some shaperless wraps that I've been wearing, and also very easily translate into half wraps, which I think is very seasonally appropriate. So I hope you found this useful. And yeah, that's all I have for today. So that's a wrap for me. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.